So many times to change my mind. Guess I was born to make mistakes, but I ain't scared to take away. So when I stumble off my path, I know my heart will guide me there. Ooh, hey, I'm trying to decide which way to go. Think I made a wrong turn back there somewhere. Ooh, hey, ooh, I'm trying to decide which way to go. Hey, how are you, Queen? Didn't you know? Didn't you know? But I lost my way. Should sway, but I would not pay. You never know. Good, actually at work, right on. Well, hopefully you can vibe with me, right? Free your mind and find your way. There will be a brighter day. Love is life and life is free. Take a ride of life with me. Free your mind and find your way. There will be a brighter day. Hey. How is everyone doing? I hope you're well. Thank you for joining me. This was a little bit of Erica there for you. I am Odessa. I am a women's wellness coach, and I'm here to talk to you all today about why I choose to help women prepare. Hope you will save this live. I'll catch you after work. Yes, most definitely, I will be saving this live. So hopefully when you return, you can hashtag replay and let me know what kind of takeaways you took away from this live that I'm doing for you all today. So I want to begin by announcing that doors for my program, Fertility Secrets and Womb Wisdom Incubator, are open. The doors are open, and for those who are, give thanks. For those who are interested, you can definitely connect with me to find out more about this program and how it can be of service to you. Within this incubator, I've created it over the last couple of years. So for those of you who are not familiar with me and what I do, I know I had some questions recently about, what is my education and, how long have I been doing this? So I wanted to start off a little bit by discussing just briefly, my background. So I am a Quebec certified naturopath. I am an Ontario registered natural therapist practitioner. I am a registered massage therapy candidate. I'm about to take my provincial exam. I am a birth and postpartum doula. I am a soul therapist. I am an energy healer, and I have been doing this work combining over 15 modalities into my practice over the last, it's going to be soon 19 years that I've been doing this work. And so I work with the energy, I work with the food, I work with the herbs, I work with nutrition. I just, like everything is very important, and working with the body from a multi-layered perspective is important. And so I've spent the last few years, helping my clients to regulate their cycles, helping to give thanks for that love, helping them to regulate their cycles, helping them to stabilize their cycles, reduce pain, help them to lose weight, organize their food, helping them to get pregnant, avoiding surgery, preparing for health after surgery. I work with moms and babies, going into birth. I presently help moms mostly in the postpartum phase. I also work as an overnight postpartum support doula. So I'm just very much involved in the work and immersed in the work. And I noticed that there was a need. There was a need for support with women who are on the journey of conception, who really want that support, because, they need that support. For myself, I've shared my story, my personal story before, where I have experienced very long, irregular cycles, very heavy cycles, and even with the irregularity of my menstrual cycle, I was still able to conceive my children. And I've gone to specialty doctors for acupuncture and whatever the nature to be able to stabilize my own cycles. And these doctors have always asked me, well, how is it that you're able to conceive? Because there are women who are menstruating like clockwork, and they're not able to have these babies. And so this really struck me, because I love all of my children, but some of them were oops babies, my partner and I were just having children and just living our lives. And that really struck me, that there are women out there who are really suffering and having a difficult time conceiving and having their babies. Another leg of my journey consisted of really severe postpartum depression. My youngest child is 5 years old, He'll be 5.5 very soon. And I spent about 3.5, almost 4 years actually, battling with really, 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 really bad depression, which started after having him. And I was able to use my work to support me through the process. Now, I have to be honest and say that although I knew the work that I was doing was effective, I wasn't applying it consistently. It was messy. I was also a stay-at-home mother, taking care of my children and, really trying to find balance. And it was really hard to do. It was lonely. But I must say that if I didn't have the work that I had, if I didn't have these tools in my bag, I don't think that I would have been able to create the kind of environment that I created for myself and for those women who I was able to work with. And I would not have been able to advocate for myself when I finally did go to have more conversations with primary caregivers, because I had a very deep distrust of the medical system. And so throughout that process, I was able to create what I call my womb cleanse protocol. It's a 3-phase protocol that I walk my clients through. And this is what I was able to support myself with. I have been applying my work consistently and seeing the work immediately, which is why I'm very, very adamant on when you're applying a therapy, when you're working with someone who has a protocol, who has a method that has worked, it's extremely important that you follow it, because doing something half and half, doing something half-ass is not going to give you the results that you want. And so as I was delving into this womb wellness, I was focusing more on women who had, fibroids and PCOS and endometriosis and abnormal bleeding and ovarian cysts and all of these issues that we were dealing with, women who were not healing from their, past traumas, women who were carrying issues with them and really not thriving. I began to recognize the women around me who were processing the fact that they have been trying to conceive and they were not able to for years, or going to work with fertility specialists and still having, failed cycles. And so this is where I began to notice my expertise needed to be specifically with Black women. I just happen to have more women of color who are around me. And this was what we were noticing, going into the hospitals, going into the clinics and not feeling heard, not being seen. I just want to welcome everybody who is joining. And so I, started to face these issues more head on, right? Like, how can I create more of a supportive environment, because having these one-off conversations with these women left me feeling unfulfilled, right? Because in one conversation, we're not able to address all of your needs. I can help you to understand the framework that you need to work within, but a lot of women actually need the accountability so they can walk through the process and know that there's someone there to hold their hand. And so this was what actually started to spur that development of this iteration of my work, this iteration of Fertility Secrets and Womb Wisdom, really focusing on that pregnancy preparation phase, because there are also a lot of women who are becoming pregnant and are sick, extremely sick while they're pregnant, and you're bedridden, or you're not able to do the work that you normally do, or you're falling into deep depression, or you don't feel as though you're ready for pregnancy at all, and then you're getting to labor and you're a mess, and you have all these dreams and visions for yourself, and your birth turns into something that you didn't anticipate, and then you feel as though you're at the whim of the medical system and your primary caregivers. And let's not say anything negative about trauma and crisis intervention, because when we need it, it's important that it's there to support us. But you have to know how to advocate for yourself. You have to know what's going on within yourself. You have to know what your rights are. You have to know how to communicate these things. And so this is what really spurred the development of this container. I recognized that women needed a container to be able to assess what in heaven's name is going on with me. What is happening? Like, there's what the doctors have said to me, and then there's their way of communicating, which is usually in a very short time frame, with very specific words that they may tell you, things they don't tell you. You've got like the results of your blood tests and you're not sure what it means, so you might go back home and Google it. And so within the framework that I created within this incubator, that was one of the first things that we do, that I really, really was adamant on establishing, was this MAAP process. And I talk about this a lot because it's important. How did you get here? What's happening to you? What are the steps that you took to get here? Why are you still in this position? And what are the things you need to do to change so you can arrive at a level of wellness, wholeness, and happiness that will help to support your pregnancy path, your path to pregnancy? So once we establish the MAAP method, then we start to move into the BOM method. And the BOM method is where we really look at your relationship to your physical body. What is your relationship like to your breast? What is your relationship like to your ovaries? What is your relationship like to your cycle? What is your relationship like to your womb? How have you felt in your body? What exactly is going on? And helping us to understand, as I mentioned in the beginning, I'm a soul therapist, I'm an energy healer and body worker. And so this means that when I look at health and when I look at wellness, I'm not only looking at it from the perspective of what's going on in your physical body. Well, your blood panels say that your hemoglobin is low, and you've got protein in your urine, and so kidney filtration is not happening. But let's go a little bit deeper, because the kidneys represent fear, right? The kidneys also connect us to our jing, to our sexual energy, and if you're dealing with the blood is, it has to do also with how the spirit is animating the body. It also has to have that connection to the heart and how the heart is pumping. And what does the heart mean? There's unconditional love, there's fear in the heart, there's these monsters in the heart. And within the chest, within the, the upper thorax, we've also got the lungs, and the lungs represent grief. And so when we go through the process of mapping you out and looking at the BOM method, we're going deeper and understanding that illness does not only manifest on the physical level. It has to do with your emotional system. And you all have, if you've been watching my videos, You've heard me talk about the endocrine system being intrinsically related to your emotional system. And when women are not in a great state emotionally, when they're suffering, you can see it happening and manifesting in your menstrual cycle. Many doctors, many OBGYNs are starting to talk more about the sixth sense, or the sixth, what are they calling it? I'm losing my words, but the period is another way for women to tell what's wrong with them. It's another sign. You look at the eyes, you look at the tongue, you look at the skin, right? You'll ask different questions and you're going to talk about the menstrual cycle, right? So getting women to understand and not just have that conversation where you're consciously aware of, oh, my cycle is off, and it can mean that something is off with my body, but my cycle is off. What exactly am I holding on to? Am I not dealing with? Have I not processed? And so we go into that. And then the third phase of the process has to do with understanding the flow, understanding what to do, when to do, how to do it, what to take, what not to take, why you shouldn't, you know what I mean? Why your boundaries are important, why we tell you to relax, because, everyone today is talking about self-care, relax, be easy. And I just got to big up Naomi Osaka. She stood up to, the tennis federation, and she's taking that space that she needs, because your mental health is important, and it's extremely important. And within this program, it is the epitome of how you are going to reset your body, right? So if you are on that path to pregnancy, making sure that you're taking the time is key. And I'm going to show you how to take the time. I'm going to show you the best practices that you can take, that you can do to increase your energy, right? And so within this container, this is the basics of the three phases that we walk through. But one of the most important things that we do is we detox and we cleanse the body. And we cleanse the body through food, through nutrition, through herbs. And we do multiple rounds of this because it's important to clean out. You have to clean out the body. You have to clean out, if you're going to buy new furniture, if you're going to buy new sheets, you're going to buy new stuff. Most of the time, you're going to clean out the room, right? Or clean your house before you actually welcome these new items in. And I see so many women, so many men, so many people are, taking medicine, deciding that they're going to take these herbs, and they haven't done anything to clean out their bodies. So the medicine is not able to do the work that it's supposed to do because you are not prepared to receive it. Your cells are stuffed. And secondly, you're not taking the herbs properly or for the length of time that is required, right? So these are things that we go through, that we understand during the process. And what I've come to see during this work is that women who are doing this work, folks who are engaging in this work, their level of confidence in their body has increased. I've had results within the first week: weight loss, bloating gone down, periods, pain stopped, you know what I mean? Just complete alignment. Women who have been trying for years have gone to see multiple practitioners, have come through the program and have seen changes immediately that they have been waiting to see for years on end. And so this work is really important to me. It's extremely personal because I myself have gone through it. I myself have worked through it. Thank you for that, love. I myself have, gone to the bottom of the pit, so to speak. I have been at the bottom, you know what I mean? Looking at the top, wondering how in heaven's name am I going to get back up there? And this work, this incubator, this therapy that I do, that I offer, is what has helped me and it has helped my clients. And so this is why I offer it. This is why I am so passionate about this. I really think that women deserve a chance to connect to themselves, to connect to the wisdom that's within their body without feeling shamed, without feeling pressure, and without having to go through that DIY curve, because everyone is DIYing it right now. Everyone is, trying to figure it out, piecemealing things from here and there, putting it together. And it's frustrating because you go to Google and you get a lot of information, but you don't really know what to do. You have one herb that has 25 different, 25 different properties to it, 25 healing qualities, and you're not sure what to use for yourself, right? So this is what inspired this work. This is how I came to create this womb wisdom program, this pregnancy preparation incubator, specifically for women who are preparing for IVF, women who have been on this road, who are dealing with chronic reproductive health conditions, women who are over the age of 30 because you have so many things against you, so many obstacles that are in the way of you conceiving. And so just coming into a container where you don't feel the pressure to perform, you don't feel the pressure to answer questions, but you just have to be there with yourself and do the work with accountability, because this is key. This is crucial. I get so many people coming to me and they're like, I have an idea of what to do. I've got all these different ideas and these things, and I feel as though I'm on my way, but I cannot maintain myself. I do not have the mindset to maintain it. I keep on falling back. I fall to the wayside. And so that is really, really key and really important to me. I mean, I'm still learning to understand what my role is in this work on this planet within my passion, because this really took over my world. It took over my life. It takes over my bed. I've got books and papers. You can come to my house at any given moment, books and papers on the bed, under the bed, following me around, listening to podcasts, videos, in programs and schools. I'm a life learner. And so I think it's really important. Something that supports women is crucial. The program is 6 months. The program used to be 12 weeks, but it's extended to 6 months because what we do understand is that if a woman is experiencing reproductive health problems, it's important to give yourself at least 3 menstrual cycles before you see a change, right? I was just, observing some of the comments in some of the groups that I frequent, and these women were like, yes, I just started taking this medication, these pills and these supplements, and it's been 10 days and my period is not coming. And so I completely stopped. And it's like, okay, but I had to come in and let them know you can't stop. One of the reasons why your period is not coming at the regular time is because your body is recalibrating to the medicine that you've given it. You know what I mean? Like they say it takes at least 3 weeks to start a new habit. Well, it takes at least 3 months to start a new cycle of menstrual periods. It takes at least 100 days to rebuild the follicles that you need to be able to conceive, to have that egg, to be able to ovulate and have that baby that you want. If you start working right now in June, July, August, September is when you're going to see the proof of the work that you've done. You will see changes immediately in your next cycle and in your second cycle and all of that, but you will really see only after 3 months. So it's really important that you give yourself the time to do that. So within the 6-month period, that's what we do. We need the time to grieve these incomplete relationships that we've had with our body, these relationships that we've had with our womb, for women who are suffering, after having had multiple miscarriages, after having rainbow babies, after your relationships are falling apart. You need the time to process this. And so there's actually a portion in the program where we do this, where we go through a completion process of observing, the heart and the heart and the grieving process to be able to get you to that place of wholeness so you can hold the mindset, right? Because oftentimes I'm hearing, and even, like it's just a regular thing. Like I'm doing this work, but, I don't believe it. I don't believe that I can do it. I question if it's real. I'm just giving it up to God, putting it in the light, doing these affirmations. It's like, no, you've got to do the work. You've got to dig down inside of yourself and understand and recognize all of the pieces that come together to help you to function, because your body is working hard for you every day. And the grass is green only where you're going to water it, right? So I'm teaching you how to prepare your mind, your body, and your spirit so that you can help your womb to prepare your baby's first crib. Your baby's first crib. We're helping you to develop that vulnerable view of you that you have of yourself, to build up that confidence that you may have lost in the process, right? To reinforce the positivity, to show you exactly what you can do on your own after you've had the support. Because that's the other thing. It isn't just about, oftentimes, like I was talking about the one and done work that a lot of women are doing, that a lot of people do, is like you go to a naturopath and you have this 1 or 2 sessions and it's one and done. It's like, okay, so how do I maintain this on my own? right? That's why this is a coaching program. It's an incubator. Like, you come into it and you really start to do the work. It isn't just, okay, Odessa's going to teach me what to do, and that's it. It's like, she's going to teach me how to do it, how to integrate it, and how to repeat it, and how to know, right, what to do when the time comes. This is really important. Like, you want to have your baby in the next 12 months. What exactly are you doing? What are the steps that you're implementing in place? Do you have the strength, the ability, the know-how, and the endurance to maintain this? When your doctor is coming to you and telling you, well, the last time you came to have this cycle, the last time you came for IVF, you didn't have enough follicles. And so I really don't think that this process is good for you. It's important for you to consider egg donation. What are you going to do? How are you going to respond? You've got to be bullish in your vision, not necessarily in your actions, but you've got to be bullish in your vision, and you have to know how to move with that. How do you, come back into yourself and talk with yourself and know what you're capable of doing and apply that work? Who are you going to speak with? Right? Because the people who are not going through the process with you, I can tell you for a fact, after a while, it's a little bit difficult for them to hear you speak and complain. Because that's what I've heard people say. Oh my gosh, it sounds as though it's complaining. I know that they're having a really difficult time. I know that they're working through the process, and I know that this is what they're striving towards, but all the time they're coming to these are words that my friends are telling me when they talk about their friends who are in the process of trying to conceive, or, having difficulty with, getting pregnant and staying pregnant. It's like, it becomes almost a drag for them. And so it's like, you have to know where to go, what to do, who to speak to, and that's what this incubator is for. This is why it was created, right? So in my circle of care, you're getting accountability, you're getting coaching, you're getting direction, you're getting insight, you're getting a lot of love, you're getting a lot of tough love as well, right? And you're getting the know-how, you're getting my experience, you're getting my 18 years plus of experience and study and passion, to help you focus on your journey, for you to get the baby of your dream, for you to conceive and hold that womb wisdom, alive while you go through that process. So I just want to talk a little bit about who this is for. This is for women who know that they have problems. This is for women who know that they are on the journey and they're having difficulty. It's also for women who just want to prepare themselves in advance, but understand the importance of preparing their wombs in advance, because we know for a fact, scientifically speaking, that if you are pregnant right now, you are actually holding the potential of your grandchildren, right? The eggs and the sperm are formed, they're in their pre-phases in the embryo, in the fetus that is being held in your uterus. So that's the first thing. You're holding your grandchildren in your uterus when you're pregnant. The second thing we know is, scientifically speaking, whatever the mother is experiencing is going to pass on to the child. Trauma that the mother or the parents have lived through that are unresolved, they are passed on to the child. Now, this is scientifically speaking, and you have some scientists who try to debunk this, but this is what shamans, healers, wives, midwives, the ancestors have been saying since the beginning of time. Let's not forget, okay, this modern science of testing and machinery and all of that, this is relatively new. 200 years is not a long time, okay? 200 years is not a long time, right? And there have been tests that have been done where they've taken lab rats and they have traumatized these lab rats, with, I believe it was electrocution and connected to a particular smell. And these lab rats had children, and the children were traumatized, were given the same smell, and the children had the same physiological responses, very similar responses to what their parents had. This is lab rats, right? They also did some testing on survivors from the Holocaust, very small, quantitative testing, I believe. And so there were some arguments that, well, it wasn't enough, and there weren't, it just wasn't official enough of a testing. But what they did find was that the people who had gone through the trauma, they were looking at their children and their children's children, and they were seeing the results of that. Right. So imagine you yourself going through trauma, you yourself experiencing stuff, and you are passing this on to your children. There are women who are absolutely, extremely terrified of conceiving, of having a baby, of starting a family because of what they think they may do to their children. Right? So if you are aware of this and you know that this is something that you need to heal, then this work is for you. If you have chronic health conditions that you've been suffering with, if you know that you have chronic fibroids, you know that your PCOS is problematic, you know that you've been living with endometriosis, you know that your AMH levels are low, you know that you're dealing with premature ovarian insufficiency, you know that you're just living with chronic health conditions that are preventing you from conceiving spontaneously, because that's what they call it, a spontaneous pregnancy. If you know that you have been trying to conceive for more than 12 months, for more than 2 years, and this work, this Fertility Secrets and Womb Wisdom Incubator, this work is for you. If you have been considering going for IVF, if you have had your initial conversations with a fertility specialist, if you have visited a clinic, then this program is for you. If you have experienced failed IVF cycles and you are considering going for another round, I implore you, stop what you're doing. Don't get to the starting line without having practiced. This program of pregnancy preparation is for you. Right? This work is not for women who do not want to conceive in the next 12 months. If you do not have that desire to conceive right now, this work is not specifically for you. And I just need to say that because I just have some conversations with women on the phone, on these calls, and I'm like, ma'am, this work, no, ma'am, it's not going to work out for you, Well, I'm in a relationship with this person right now. It's an open relationship, and I want to, have a baby with this particular person in a year, and I think it's going to work out. And so, no, this work is not for you, and I'm very much about, when you are sleeping with one person, there is an energetic exchange that is happening. And so if you're in the middle of dropping, dimes here and there, you just, doing a thing and taking care of yourself like that, there's no hate there. You know what I mean? People got to do what people got to do. But this program is not for you. If you are running around and doing these kinds of things, if you are not serious, if you have issues with maintaining a program, with maintaining a schedule, you know what I mean? You don't want to do the work. You think that there's a better way to do it. This program is not for you, because it isn't about I suggest something to you and then you turn around and you do something else. Because if you come back to me and you tell me that the work isn't working for you, and then we go through the process and I'm finding out, well, you decided to cut out A, because you like doing B and C, and D, you were going to do D after you do G. This is not how we get from point A to point Z. This work is not for you. If you are in the process of pursuing, a master's degree and working full time and, trying to get your life off of the ground and just on the grind, then this work is not for you. And the reason why it's not for you is because you are not able to focus on this. I can tell you for a fact that this program, this incubator, it takes time and it takes dedication. It takes dedication because of the amount of work that you have to put in the preparation of your food, in the preparation of your herbs, of how you care for your body. Self-care isn't about waking up in the morning and doing a quick facial and going on your way. The self-care that I am asking you to maintain in this work is not about you, going to bed just before you go to bed at night, saying a 10-minute affirmation and then going to sleep. Right. And so if you're not prepared to enter into the cycle of care, of, long-term care, of, very painstakingly thought out self-care. You know what I mean? If that is not a priority for you, then this program is not for you. If you are the type of person who wants to tell me about the book that you have on your shelf, from Queen Afua, and I've got to just big up Queen Afua for the pioneering work that she's done in this realm of work. But if you've got this book on the shelf and, your response to everything that I'm giving you is, you're going to revert back to this work over there and you're going to do this work, you don't really need to do everything, you only need pieces of it, then this work is not for you. We have to just lay down the territory. We have to know the lay of the land from jump, right? You have to know that what you're going to invest your money in, whatever it is that you're going to give yourself a chance to do is worth it for you. And not only for you, but for me. Because I put a lot of time and energy and care into every single person that comes into this group. You have access to me. You have access to the content. We're emailing each other regularly. We're having regular conversations. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sending you things. I'm sending you reminders. I'm sending you, memes of affirmations of things I want you to think of. It's very, very involving. And so it's important that you know what's for you, what's good for you, and what you need, the type of work that you need, right? Because we're in this for 6 months. We're together for 6 months. We have a relationship for a season, for 2 seasons, as a matter of fact, right? We want 6 menstrual cycles to pass so that you can experience a change, right? 6 is actually, they say 6 is a very feminine number because the actual rounded part represents the belly of a mother, of a pregnant woman. And the 6 is able to balance between everything. It rocks back and forth. That isn't the reason why I chose 6 months, but it just so happens that this is what the number 6 means. So for those of you who are interested in the program, for those of you who are interested and want to know more about this incubator, what happens is as soon as we hop on a call and you've made the decision that this is something you want to do, the first thing that happens is I send you the part 1 of the MAAP assessment. And this is where you're actually going to receive 6 different assessment forms for you to fill in. We're not playing here, okay? You receive 6 different health assessments for you to fill in. And in this process, this is going to help us to map out your multidimensional awareness and assessment protocol, right? And one of the forms take, about 45 minutes. All of the forms together, they take some time because I want to know what's happening. Why do you tick? How do you tick? Where do you tick? What makes you tick? Why are you not ticking the way you're supposed to? Right? And so once you have filled in these forms and I receive them and I get a chance to go through them adequately, what happens is we schedule a call for your deep dive session. I love these sessions because this is where you and I get on a call, we get on a Zoom call, and we comb through these 6 assessments. And this helps you to understand, okay, here's where I am, this is what I'm doing, and this is where, the imbalances kind of come in, and this is where my strengths are, these are my weaknesses, and we actually begin to curate a wellness strategy for you, right? And this is what's really important. You need to have that wellness strategy, and you need to understand that you need some time to transition. That's what this deep dive does. It gives you a moment to help set your internal compass to your true north, because let me tell you, a lot of people are walking around here off kilter. Okay, ma'am, that's you. Ma'am, that's you. You know it. You know that you are not walking around feeling your best. And some women have never felt their best. And they know that they've never felt their best because they can see someone else experiencing a level of heightened sensitivity and love that they're not experiencing themselves. And so this deep dive program helps you to create, helps us to create a wellness strategy. So once you've created it, you go back and you start the process of transitioning your environment, you map your home, you map your body, you map your kitchen, you map your life. You're just mapping everything, right? And so you start that process of transitioning so that when it comes time for us to actually begin the second part of the map, and this is when the core of the program begins to unfold, you've already had a lead time. You have a long enough runway that gives you a chance, right, to catch your breath. Because I tell you, once the detox begin, it's intense. It's quite intense. It's demanding. And if you haven't started changing your diet, if you haven't started doing the things that would give you the kind of lead time that you need, then it becomes very overwhelming, right? So we arrive at that first, at that part 2 of the map, and then the process begins. And here we begin our weekly and bi-weekly calls, and just going deeper into the content and really helping you to prepare your womb for your first baby, to clean it out, right? To give yourself that feeling of lightness, of je ne sais quoi, that you are striving for and you're looking for. So we walk through the MAAP process, the BOM method, and the feminine protocol within these 6 months together. We help you to grieve, to complete relationships, whether it's with yourself, whether it's with your family members, whether it's with experiences that you've had. Like, this program is all about helping you to reset your compass. It's so important. Women are the thermometers, barometers of society. And when a woman is off kilter, when the women are off kilter, you have to pay attention. Like, I know that, there are a lot of people who are choosing to, with COVID, get the vaccine. And there are doctors who are starting to speak up now, and they're saying, okay, but there are a lot of women who, after having had the vaccine or are around people who have had vaccine, they're lamenting. They are coming and they're talking to the doctors about what's happening to their bodies. And these doctors are saying, okay, if the women are speaking to me, it is time to listen to the women, right? Because we set the tempo, right? Like, we set the tempo, and it's maintained through us. And if a woman is not comfortable in her body, if she's not at home in her body, if she's not, leaning back and learning how to rely on that feminine essence and know when to engage with the masculine and how to lean back and then when to engage, then the level of equilibrium and harmonious living that she has in her life is jeopardized. That's not the word that I'm looking for, but I don't think I'm going to search for it because it's not there, right? But she's not able to be her full self. And so this is what this process helps you to do. This is what this process encourages. It encourages a level of peace, love, joy, and happiness, support, confidence, and self-esteem on this journey, on this path to pregnancy. So this is really what I wanted to come on and talk with you all about. I wanted to let you know that the doors for the Fertility Secrets and Womb Wisdom program are open, and you are more than welcome to enroll. You can enroll by clicking on the link in my bios, and you can book a next step call with me. And in this call, we are going to assess the mini assessment that I'm actually going to send you to understand where the gaps are on your healing journey. So once you sign up for that next step suitability call, you will automatically receive a mini pregnancy preparation assessment. And you'll answer these questions, and they will help you to understand where you are on your journey and what exactly is missing from your own healing tool bag, if I can say that, right? And what you need to be doing to get to that place that you want to be at. And so we have this conversation. And so we see if you are a suitable fit for the program, if you are a suitable fit for us to work together. I would love, love, love to welcome you into the program. I would love to support you on this journey. I would love to give you, impart on you the knowledge that I have spent many years learning and practicing on myself and practicing on my clients, so that I can help you to prepare your womb for your first baby, or maybe not your first baby, but to prepare the crib, the first crib for your baby. Okay, so I really want to thank you for joining me. And if there was anything on this live that you took away that you found to be inspirational, please let me know in the comments, #replay, and let me know. I would love to communicate with you. And if you would like, you can feel free to send me a DM, share this with anyone that you think can benefit from this information. And I will be back again tomorrow, actually, to have more conversations with you about womb wisdom and why it's important. Y'all take care. Be well. Bye-bye.